Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So here's a new deck profile for you guys today. So I actually posted this yesterday about like what I was planning on doing for the future of my channel. I decided to finally feature Guru control in my profile. I've been wanting to do a Guru deck for you guys. Even if it wasn't my deck profile, I would have done someone else's deck profile, but I never got the chance. But now that I have Extravagance and the Guru deck by itself is really not that expensive. Really the only real investment you have to make is just the Extravagance. But overall, this deck is relatively cheap. You probably pay for both main and side deck and main deck too. Well, depending on what options you're going with, it can range between 150 to almost like 200 bucks at most. But again, I'll let you guys know what budget options you can play instead of the cards that I played. This is just my own take of the build and decided to just kind of go my own route. So yeah. All right, so starting off with the main deck, of course, 40 cards. You got to run 3 copies of Gru. This is your heart and soul of the entire deck. So this basically, when it's flip summon, you can search any Subterra card from your deck to your hand. You generally go for your Fiendus, or if you already have Fiendus, go for your Final Battle. Or if you already have both, then just search out something else like the Archer or even the Behemoth. So like there's quite a few options too. So and his defense stat's pretty good. Also has a Book of Moon effect. So target one other face-up monster on the side of the field, and you can target himself. They both go face down, so it's a good way just to like kind of keep them going. So honestly, this is the card that Subterra really needed to be good again. So that's why I like it. 3 Fiendus. This is basically a built-in hand trap. Negates pretty much everything. So like it can negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect. So yeah, Fiendus, definitely an amazing card. But the only thing is like you have to target a face-up Subterra monster to use it. So, but overall, that's really not a problem. And also, you can special summon 1 additional Subterra monster from your hand or your graveyard. So it's a good way for revival too. So yeah, it gets pretty nuts. Next, 2 Nemesis Archer. So at the start of the damage step, this card battles a face-down defense monster. It shuffles it back to the deck, so it's really good for removal. And her attack stat's not half bad, especially if you combine it with Final Battle. She can become pretty beefy. Next, 1 Behemoth, Eumistrix. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So this is basically another form of removal. If he's flipped face up, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, or 1 monster, I'm sorry, and banish it. So it's really good. So, and again, he's basically your brick wall. So not a bad attack stat either. So it comes in clutch. All right, so that's it for the Subterra monsters. I'm already moving on to hand traps. I'm running 3 copies of Ash, you know, pretty standard. I'm actually running Impermanent in my build. You don't have to run it, honestly. You could run, like, Compulsory. You could run Lost Wind. Lost Wind is still really good right now, so... or Titan Cider. Like, there's plenty of options, you know. Again, I just like Impermanence because, you know, especially because it just can't be hit with Call by the Grave. That's the only reason I'm running it. Forbidden Chalice is also a good card to run, but it's really up to your it's all about preference, really. That's all I can say. All right, for spells, running 3 copies of the Hidden City. Everyone already knows what this does. When this card is activated, you can add a Subterra monster. You always gotta go for your Guru if you don't have it, so this is the card that helps you get access to it. Once per turn, you can change up 1 face-down defense monster or Subterra monster you control to face-up attack or defense mode. And also, once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, opponent's monster that is, you can change 1 face-down defense position Subterra monster you control to face up attack or defense and negate the attack. Now keep in mind this is a hard once per turn, so can't abuse it. Alright. For draw strength, running 3 copies of Extravagance. You know, like I said, this is really the big investment of the deck. The Subterra core itself is not too expensive, so you should be able to get it for fairly cheap. 2 Duality, didn't really need to run 3. For 1-ups, 1 Cave Clash, just gives your Subterra monsters power boost, so pretty good. And also has a pretty cool effect. Once per turn, when a Subterra monster you control inflicts battle damage, you can target 1 Subterra card, so it's anything that you want. You can add it back to your hand. So like in case your opponent pops one of your final battles, you can add that back. You can add back Fiendus, so it's really good for recursion. Moving on, 1 Mystic Mine. You know, just it's a good go in second card. Necro Valley. This is really good against Eldritch and Adamantipator because it just like stops from recurring the resources. So yeah, Necro Valley, pretty busted. Terraforming and 1 set rotation. So that's pretty much it for the spells. All right, moving on. All right, so for trap cards, and I'm running quite a bit of them. 3 Final Battle, this is mandatory. This is one of 3 effects. You can change one set Subterra monster on the field to face up attack or defense. So this is just a good way to trigger the flip effects. Change one face up Subterra monster on the field to face down defense. So yeah. And lastly, you can actually target one Subterra monster on the field. Its attack and defense become equal to the combined original attack and defense until the end phase of the turn. So pretty good. Also, this turn, when this card is activated, actually it has 4 effects, I'm sorry. Cards cannot be negated, so Subterra cards, I mean. So pretty good way to keep your opponent from negating any of your spells, traps, or your monster effects. Another good thing is that this basically acts as a scrap iron scarecrow, so it always sets itself back down. That's why this card is so broken. I'm surprised this never went to 1, but it is what it is. Really good card, I love it. Okay, next 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. So Aaron already knows what this, so this needs no explanation. There can only be 1. Also, no explanation. This card's super good. It basically kills Adamantipator, hurts Eldritch pretty badly because, you know, they're zombie monsters. So if they can't really, if they can't get around it, then you can definitely take control of the duel. 2 Summon Limit. I actually decided to run this in the main deck, just because since we're in a format where there's a lot of synchro decks, I felt like Summon Limit was the right choice. I was thinking of running Book of Moon in my main deck, but I decided to just keep that inside and just run this instead. And last but not least, 1 Metaverse. You know, pretty obvious on that one. All right, so now moving on to the extra deck. Extra deck, you know, this deck doesn't really rely on the extra deck like most control decks, so I felt like I just wanted to keep this as standard as possible. 2 copies of Asa, so, you know, it's an earth monster, why not? 2 Almirage. I thought I had a whole playset of Anima, but I only have 1, so for right now, the Almirage are just filling in. 2 Linkuriboh, and the 1 copy of Anima, just because, like I said, I thought I had more of these, but I don't. So until then, until I can get a playset, I'm just going to run Almirage temporarily, but this is just what I have for right now. 2 Mud Dragon, because I am running Super Poly in the side. 2 Starving Venom, 2 Dragon Necro, you know, obviously for zombie decks, and 2 copies of Last Warrior from Another Planet. I am running Waken the Dragon on the side, so that's the only reason I'm running that. Side deck, running 3 copies of Token Collector. This is just to deal with cards like Link Cross, so Token Collector can really come in handy whenever you need them to. 2 Super Poly, 2 copies of Book of Moon. Like I said, this card actually has really good interaction with Pot of Extravagance. I believe I explained this on the Counter Fairy deck, so that's for the reason I'm running it. Since I don't have Lightning Storm, I'm just running 1 copy of Raigeki. It throws a lot of people off, so I figured, you know what, why not? 3 Evenly Matched, 2 Waking the Dragon, and if I'm up against another control deck like Guru Control, Altergeist, running Heavy Storm Duster on the side, so I figured this was a great choice. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys again next time.